Let's focus on giving our blog app the ability to show a specific article document. This will involve generating a component, adding a new API endpoint, and adding a new article service method. So let's first use the Angular CLI tool to generate the component, ng, gc, and article. Next, let's visit our API.js file to add a new endpoint. So we're going to go to server and API.js. So just under here, we're going to call router.get, and this would be /articles/:ID. And we'll grab this ID in order to communicate with MongoDB. Okay, next, we'll simply console log the fact that we're requesting a specific article here. And inside of here, we'll use article find by ID method, and we pass in the request params ID. Then we use our execute function once again. We pass in an error and the response as article. And inside of here, we say if there's an error, we'll console log error getting the article. And then else, or otherwise, if it's successful, we'll take our response JSON and pass in the responsive article. And that is it. Very simple, as you could see. So let's go ahead and save. And next, we're going to visit the article service file and add a new method for communicating with our new API endpoint. So we'll go to source, app, and our article service file here. We'll create a new method called getArticle, singular, and this time we're going to pass in ID, and we will return this HTTP, and this is another GET request for API articles, and then we'll pass in ID from the parameters, and we're going to map it. This result equals result.json. All right, go ahead and save that, and then let's work within the article component itself. Go to article component TS, and let's go ahead and import the article service and the article class. Now we also need to import the router and an activated route so that we can grab the ID associated with the article, as well as in the future, navigate back to the home component when we use this article component to delete an article document. So we'll import router and activated route from the Angular router library. Okay, so let's also define an article property to hold the article result in the component class. And then we'll create the necessary instances through dependency injection for our article service, the router, and the activated route. All right, and then within ng on init, we're going to grab the ID from the URL parameters and call upon our getArticle method from the article service. Inside of here, we'll say let ID equals params. We'll get the ID from the URL parameters, and then we reference this article service and reference our newly created getArticle method, in which we pass in the ID and we subscribe to it. All right. So let's real quickly, to see if this works, we'll hop back into our article component HTML template. First, save this. And inside of here, we'll simply put a div of ng if the article property exists and it has fetched it, then we'll just show for now the article title. Now, before this will work, we have to add this new path to our app routing file. So we'll copy this change this to article component. We'll copy this object here and put a comma, paste it, pass in article component in place of home component, and then change the path here to articles /:ID. Okay, so now let's go ahead and save this and run ng build and also restart our node server as we've added a new endpoint. We'll run ng build. Also going to go ahead to the other console here, hit Control C to stop and run node server once again. And going back, this is ready. So we'll go back to our browser. Okay, let's click on it. Okay, so it shows us this new URL here with the ID, but we were supposed to see a title here. So let's go ahead and look at the console to see if there's an error of any sort. I'm going to hit Control-Shift-I here on Chrome. And okay, so we have an unexpected token in JSON at position 0. So what exactly does that even mean? Well, whenever you encounter this common error, you want to retrace your steps back, starting from the service where we communicate with the API. So going back to our code editor, let's go to our article service here. And this is the method that we use, which is getArticle. And looking at the code here, specifically at this path, we can see right here, we didn't put in, or I didn't put in, an actual / to separate the ID from the article's path. So now let's go ahead and save this, make sure this is saved as well, and we'll go back to our console to run ng build. Okay, let's go back to our browser. This time we'll refresh, and there we go. This is my article title here. Now that we have access to individual articles, let's work on this template some more and style it accordingly.